Hi Bruce, Phil Beever here from the Wilderness Club. Quick recap on our lesson this morning. So if we run through your swing here, first thing we can see here is the club's going back. This is by the end of your lesson, by the way. We can see here the club is still just fractionally inside. It's much better than it was, but I'd like to see that club just hinging through that right forearm a little earlier, because the time it does set, that set line is above the ball. We're going to use Alex Noren here, and I know you think he's my hero, but I want to use him really because of the downswing, so we can see when he sets the club, he's fractionally inside, but when he does set it, it's slightly steeper than yours. We can see there it points bang on the ball. So we want to get that set line, Bruce, a little bit steeper, and I would advise practicing so when you look down the mirror it points through your right shoulder, and then actually it'll point the angle we want to get it at. So just overdo that set, and again, a really easy drill. It's just to stand with your bum against the wall of the house or fence, and you can see here you clip it halfway back as opposed to just getting that shaft to hinge a bit more vertical. And the reason why it does go around is because you just tend to drag the club low and around the body too early, as opposed to just push it to your right thigh with the shoulders and then start the backswing up. When we get to the top of the swing, it's pretty good. You know, I don't mind that really. I'd still like to see it just a fraction more in front. I don't mind the length, Bruce. I know we always talk about the length, but I'd like to see it a little bit more upright. You know, if we look at Alex's swing here, the same position, they're pretty much identical for me. I'd say his just looks slightly more in front. If we draw a line on the butt of the club, terrible line. Okay, and we draw a line in the butt of yours. Not quite fair, but it's not too bad, is it? I know the line's not perfect there, but we can see. I just think if it just moved a touch, if the set was a little bit better, I think it would be more on this line here, just a little bit more upright. The thing we needed to change was the downswing. Now the first move on the way down for you is just slightly over, and we can see that evidently there. If we draw a line on the butt of the club and point that straight at the ball, we can see your hands just move to the right of that red line. If we look at Noren's there at the top, he does obviously swing it a bit longer than you. If we draw a line at the butt of his club in line with the ball, and that's not even a perfect line, there we go, you'll see his hands move to the left of that line as he starts down. So his hands and shaft are just falling that little bit more behind him. So he's there in this position here. He's in a great position where the club is a little bit behind him as the body is turning, and we know he hits big cuts, so that's why I'm using him. With yours, you can see you're just coming over, so we're getting a bit what we call trapped, and from there the club's being delivered on line with the ball. Even though its lines look pretty good, you can see that shaft for me is slightly above the forearm. Now we're being picky, Bruce, but it makes a huge difference, because when you come down now into this slot here, that club is just to the right of the ball. So we are hitting everything down into the ground and left, and then you're trying to hold it off with the club face, which doesn't really match, where I would like to see the club head coming in a little bit more from the inside, and then you could really release that right hand. So you need to go away thinking about swinging the club a bit more out this line, massive high draws, actually to hit it dead straight. And we can see here, because the club is coming in from the outside, the club works left a little bit too early. The rest is looking quite good. Don't forget posture as well. We talked about that. It's hard to see because the lighting's a bit dark, but I just want to see you a bit more over it. If you look at Noren at setup, he's a bit more sort of curved. Get rid of these lines. He's a little bit flatter, where you're a little bit more upright. So I'd like to see your top half just a bit more over the ball, as opposed to you tend to try and stand up too much. So they're the bits I want you to work on. So to work on the set, let the club fall a bit more down behind you. It'll feel awful. And then from there, really release that right hand, and we're going to see some Bruce back to his best. Thank you.